Hey everybody, welcome to this short overview video on the Superfluid Console. The console is a great developer tool for people looking to do some light testing with the protocol in a nice user-friendly way with a good UI, and it's also good for just power users of the protocol, people that have Ricochet streams open, people that are using companies like Diagonal to pay for subscriptions, and those that just want to see what's going on in the protocol at a deeper level. So again, I strongly recommend using the console if you're in either one of those groups, and here I'll give you an overview on how to use it. So we're here at the console's URL, which is console.superfluid.finance, and we can see here when I first land on this page, we have just some network level data that's just going to give us the most updated streams on each network. So I can toggle through here, I can see streams on each network here. Testnets are particularly useful for developers, obviously, but maybe if you're doing things on Polygon, you can see things on Polygon here. And the easiest way to get started is to just paste in an address here. So I have a couple of addresses saved in my address book, and I'll use this here, but you can, just as a reminder, paste in any address. And we can see that I have an example address that I've used for testing with the docs quite a lot. And on each page, whether it's an EOA, a super app or contract, or a token, we'll have a very similar page that pops up like this, where you can see things like the streams associated with that address, the indexes associated with that address, and events associated with that address. Super tokens will only be available for non-super token accounts, but we'll go through and explain all of those here. So in the Streams tab, we can see that we have information on both incoming and outgoing streams. This address has quite a lot of streams that have been created both into and out of the account. It's just an EOA. We can see this up here, that it's just a regular account in terms of account type. And I can see this on a block explorer if I want to, so I can click on this and it'll open up an explorer. And we have the network labeled here, which is COVID. So in streams, what I can do is see the current flow rate, the total amount streamed, which is ticking up in real time, which is quite cool to see, and date on when the stream itself was created. So if I click on the details page for a given stream, we can see that we have the token, we have the sender, we have the receiver, which is this docs testing address. That is my address that I use quite a bit here for testing. We've got information on the last time that the stream was updated and when the stream was created. And then again, just more information down here on the flow rate and amount streamed, which we already saw. And another helpful list here about the stream periods associated with this particular stream. So stream period is just, it's a new stream period is created each time a stream is updated or created. So if I were to update this stream, a new stream period would be created that would be listed here and would give me a total amount streamed for that new stream period. Okay, we'll close that down. Same thing with outgoing. This stream details page looks pretty much exactly the same, except the sender is now my address. And I will next go into indexes. So for the indexes, we can see all of the publications and subscriptions associated with this account. In this case, my address here only has publications. It's not subscribed to any indexes. But here we can see all the indexes that have been created as a publisher. Right, we see the token it's been associated with, we see the total units that have been distributed. We can click on different pages and paginate here, right? Don't be fooled by just the first two showing. There are quite a bit of different indexes created, and we'll just load the new pages as you click forward here. So again, we'll click on the details page. We can see the token associated here, we can see the publisher, we can see information on the index ID, the date it was last updated, we can see the total units approved, the total units pending, and total amount distributed. Let's find a better example where something has actually happened. Let me go back to page 1. I believe there's one over here. Okay, so this has had roughly 10 DIX distributed. So we can see this here. We've had this total distribution amount for the entire index. And we can see that it looks like one subscriber exists here that has 12 units, right? They have 100% of the pool. We can see the information on their particular subscription. And all of this is really helpful when looking into instant distribution agreements for any user, right? So if you're receiving units as a part of an index, or if you're publishing and distributing funds to an index, This is a great way to manage all this stuff. Okay. Let's go to super tokens now. In this section, we can see all of these super tokens that an address is interacting with. And for each super token, we'll see the balance, the active stream count, the number of streams that have been closed with the super token. And we'll look at all of these subscriptions that a given account is associated with in this section as well. So we can see here we have a pretty large balance of fake DAI token, lots of active streams and lots of closed streams. And if I had more tokens, like if I started interacting with USDC here, that would list. Same thing with MaticX and ETHX. All that stuff would appear here. And finally, one very useful tab is the Events tab. And this is good because as a developer, you can always come back here and see different events and see both the block number and transaction hash for each event. So the last time we had a flow updated event called here was 2 hours ago with this address. So if I want to see information about this, what I can do is go view it on the Block Explorer. And we can see, all right, someone used call agreement with this address. Interesting. We can see who called it. We can see which contract was called. And, you know, all this lives here. It's helpful to just use this to find different events and different transaction hashes based on which events those were. Okay? So you can also, if you'd like, search contract addresses and super token addresses. So if I have a super token address that I want to search, I can go to our network directory, for example, and let's grab the address of ETHX, which is on Polygon. I'll paste this in. All right, we see that SuperWETH, which is ETHX on Polygon, pops up. I can click this. Okay, and we have information about the token. We have the symbol, we have the address, we have the underlying token address, which in this case is WETH, or wrapped ether. We've got the network, and we've got whether or not the token is listed. So if the token is listed, it means that it's kind of been verified. You've reached out to our team to have it listed. In this case, ETHX is listed. Okay, and for any given token, we can see a list of streams, indexes, and events. We don't have a super tokens tab because this is a super token. So if I click on any of these details pages, I can see information about the stream. We can see that it's currently ongoing. We see information about the stream period, sender, receiver, all this stuff. This looks exactly the same as the streams page did in our EOA review a second ago. Same thing with indexes. We see a list of indexes, and if I click on any of these to get details, I can see information about this regarding the total units approved, the distribution amount, the total amount received, all this good stuff. And same for events. I can see all the events happening for a given super token. There's quite a few here that had to load. So there you have it, right? There you go. That's a super token you can see inside of the console. Finally, you probably also want to be able to review contract addresses and super apps that you're interacting with. One good way to do that is to go to Ricochet and find all their contract addresses here. So if I go to the Rex market for USDC and ETH, I can copy this address. And I can either paste it in here or I actually have it already listed, right? So if I in my address book. So I have this favorited here, it's starred. We can see that the account type is a super app because that's what it is. We can view it on a Block Explorer if we want to. And we can see all the streams, indexes, super tokens, and events associated with this particular contract. So we know that indexes are quite important to Ricochet's architecture, right? Because when you stream tokens in, you actually get, your address gets added to an IDA, which then distributes you tokens in proportion to how much you've streamed in. So we can see that, all right, we have an index here with this total amount distributed. I can click on this and I can see, all right, all of these distributions are for addresses that are using this market, right? Same thing with super tokens. We can see the super tokens being used. In this case, it's an ETH USDC market, so we can see those two tokens listed. So the last thing that I might want to do is use the custom Subgraph Explorer that we have embedded inside of the console to get data on any accounts or any different thing happening within the protocol. So one really awesome thing you can do is click this button to see the current item you're looking at inside of the Subgraph Explorer. We're using the graph under the hood for this whole thing, basically. So I can click on this to see this address pull up in the Subgraph Explorer instance. We can see this ID is just the contract address here. The beautiful thing is I don't have to go through and make all of the letters lowercase instead of uppercase, so it works. I'll click play. We have some information on this, right? And I can customize as well if I want to. So I could, for example, remove the is super app bit. I could include inflows if we want to. So we can see those. I can have the order direction set so that it's descending instead of ascending. And yeah, you can use this to create your own custom queries, right? This will also work for any individual stream. So if I click on, let's go back to this address that I've wanted to use. I can click on details, and I can pull up this specific stream in the Explorer as well, which is pretty cool. So click on this, I'll see information about the stream. And this is good because it'll give you probably some inspiration as a developer when you're looking to write your own custom subgraph queries within your own application, right? So you see that how our team is using the graph to get data. Feel free to just take it and use this in your own queries on your own front ends or in your own application. The nice thing about the subgraph query instance is that you can also have your own custom queries as well. So if I want to just use examples, I can do that. We have some examples for super tokens, accounts, and flow events. So if I look up accounts, let's just get the first 25 here on Coven. We can click play. I can change the chain, so maybe I want to see Gnosis chain instead because I want some live data. We can prettify. It's already prettified, right, because I'm not writing anything custom here. And we can also toggle on and off this Explorer. So I can close that down, I can include it. I personally like the Explorer. It makes it pretty easy to just go in and toggle things on and off. But if you want to go in and just write your own custom queries, you can do that too. So let me grab a query that's outside of this section by going to the Superfluid docs or on the subgraph. And again, I got here by just going to Superfluid docs and clicking subgraph. And what I can do is go into some of our examples. What we do in this section of our docs is just explain how our graph is architectured. Right, we're actually just pulling a lot of this directly from the schema, which you can see in our docs under packages. Right, you can see all the different events and entities that we're using. But if I want to grab a specific query, I can do that. So let's go in and see streams between these two addresses. I think this should work. This is just two random addresses, but I'll delete all of this. Make sure that I keep query in front there and click play. And we can see that we have some streams open between those two addresses on Gnosis chain. Let me prettify here so it'll make it look a little cleaner. And there you have it. That's an example query. Same thing here. I could do the most recently updated flows. Let's do the same thing here. Paste that in. Wonderful. We can see the most updated flows. I can change this if I want to and see the first 20 instead of the first 10. It extends it. And there you go. So you're welcome to go in and write your own custom queries. It's very easy to do that. You can do it all inside the console. You don't have to have a separate tab open with the Graph Explorer, right? Which is super helpful, at least for me when I'm doing development work. And yeah, you know, our team is pretty proud of this. We've got light mode and dark mode, right? If you like super bright light, which that would make you unlike most developers, you can use it this way. But the fancy dark mode's cool. And look, we want this to be a really valuable developer tool. So please let us know if you have any feedback on this, good or bad. We want to know. We want to make it really good. And yeah, I'm always here if you have any questions. You can find me in Discord, Sam F Superfluid, inside the Discord server. And yeah, let us know what you think.